which you can go over the mole, save some time, but you can hit a mole and lose all that time. So,
all right, now we're finally getting into the match here. So let's see here.
sorry, it looked like we got a little delay. But...
Yeah, there was a little bit of delay, but looks like Nantuko's taking that wide safe route you were talking about around the moles, and as did MrPitt.
All right, safe choice for MrPitt. I'm gonna go over something really quick here about their character choice. You may notice that Nantuko is using Yoshi. MrPitt is using Toad. Nantuko just hit a mole there, by the way. And so Yoshi, Toad, and Peach are the 3 fastest characters in the game. There's no other difference between them other than that Yoshi's the cutest, but so pretty much 99.9% of the time, if you see anybody playing Mario Kart 64 at a competitive level, you'll see them using Toad, Yoshi, or Peach.
Yep, and as we did see, with the mole hit on lap 1, Pitt did end up opening up a 1-second lead over Nantuko, and assuming no mole hits by either player for the rest of the race, it probably is a pretty easy victory for him. And let it be known that this track is a MrPitt specialty.
Yeah, this is one of MrPitt's best tracks, and this is presumably one of Nantuko's worst, because right before this he said he'll never be ready. And as expected, a 2-second victory for MrPitt.
Indeed. And so Nantuko is going to be taking us to Royal Raceway for the second course in this match. And Royal Raceway, it's one of those tracks that it's mostly straight driving, so it's just one of those that'll probably favor the higher ranked player. So a fairly expected pick by Nantuko here. The 2 points of interest to point out will be the shroom spot, which takes you around a wall that, if clipped, will waste your shroom. And there's also, just slightly before that, there's a nice little 180 to do over a grass hill, and again, there's another wall you can get caught on. But other than that, it's just one of these more relaxed courses, just a lot of straight driving, enjoy the scenery, make a stop at Peach's Castle, you know.
Well, yeah, as you said, like, the higher ranked player is usually favored on this track, but these 2 players are pretty closely ranked, so... Well, relatively closely ranked, so...
Indeed. And luckily we get nice sync there, but right off the bat, both players get a little grass tap. Pitt on the left side, Nantuko on the right. So, all things considered, they're probably just about even. Although MrPitt just got another little grass cut after the 180 there.
Yeah, he didn't go as tight on the little hill hop there, and lost some time on Nantuko because of that. Entering the first room.
Yeah, and
they're having pretty successful.
Both players were fairly successful on the shroom, but Nantuko did seem to go maybe a little early, and so I might give a slight edge to Pitt, although they both seem to hit the ground at almost the same time. And we'll have to see on the lap times more so where that ends up.
Nantuko not using the tightest route on these last couple turns and clipping some grass. Nantuko having about a 0.4 lead over MrPitt after the first lap.
Yes, and MrPitt got caught on the left side of the grass there, and that was some slowdown as well. So that's going to cost him actually a decent amount of time. And that's going to just give an increase in Nantuko's lead here.
Yeah, and his hops over the hill weren't very clean either, so...
And if anyone here who hasn't maybe been following the One Try League as much, but seems to recognize the name MrPitt, you may recognize him as the one with the infamous pause quit on the Calamari Desert.
Oh my god,
clip.
the pause quit. And MrPitt unfortunately falling off.
MrPitt falls into the water. That's going to about do it for him unless Nantuko suffers a similar fate, but that is just a really rough occurrence for him.
Yeah, for those of you who don't understand the Katie fence clip pause. So a couple months ago, Weatherton, a Mario Kart 64 tool assisted speedrunner. Actually, no, that was 464. My bad. He discovered a little lap skip on Calamari Desert, where basically you can just clip outside of the fence that like surrounds the railroad tracks, and skip about 2/3 of the track. I'm not sure exactly how much, and it's estimated to be like basically a 1 in 100,000 trick, and like there's no consistent way to do it. MrPitt was the first one to do it, but he paused and restarted the course out of instinct, meaning that it didn't count. And then it's like the greatest tragedy in speedrunning history.
Indeed, and
another tragedy in speedrunning is MrPitt losing by 12 seconds to Nantuko on Royal Raceway, making the set 1-1.
Yes, evening it out, and I'd have to see the water definitely cost him. He seemed to have a couple other grass clips in other areas, but that it's almost impossible to come back from a water tumble unless your opponent does the same thing. All right, count them down. And MrPitt is going to take us to Toad's Turnpike, which is usually another one of those courses that is a better driver sort of course. But because of the vehicles that move around in a cycle around this course, they do introduce some variance, because if you, in a one-try scenario, if you mess up and you accidentally hit one, the cycle's going to be off what you're normally used to running on. And so it can lead to some very interesting outcomes around the figure 8 turnpike with no exits to anywhere. So if you had to make some predictions here, what would you say, Charlotte? How many vehicle hits do you think we're going to see out of each player?
I feel like we're going to see 2 from Pitt and 3 from Nantuko.
Man, you don't have much faith in these players. Well, I don't know what that's for. Because I want to see a clean race. I want to see 0 hits from either. But
now that you said that, they're probably each going to get like 8 car hits. And in case you didn't catch their times there, their personal bests are actually really close. They're like within half a second of each other. So this should be a close race without any vehicle hits.
Indeed. And right off the bat there, Nantuko had a missed MT that had him very close to hitting the opening bus around the first curve. So,
by the way, if you don't know what an MT is short for mini turbo. So, when these players are like turning, you might notice that like, there's like little smoke coming out of their tires. So basically, when you hold R and move your joystick back and forth on a turn, you drift and charge a mini turbo, and then when you release the mini turbo, which is the orange sparks, you get a little speed boost. So those little mini turbos, they don't look like they save that much time, but they can be super crucial.
Oh, and important things to point out. First of all, Nantuko did finish
with a car hit. That rhymed. I should be a rapper.
Nantuko did finish with a 1.5 second lead on lap 1, although he did use a shroom. Pitt did not, but as was just said, Pitt has actually hit 2 vehicles now. So far your Pitt projection is correct. He does have shroom advantage, but those vehicle hits and now another vehicle hit.
Oh, very unfortunate. I'm changing my predictions to 5 vehicle hits for Pitt and 1 for Nantuko.
And also, I guess Toad's Turnpike is as good a course as any to mention. With the talk on mini turbos, you'll notice a lot of time these players on this course in particular, even on the straightaways, are mini turboing every so often, which we refer to as straight stretch mini turbos or SSMTs. And if executed efficiently and properly, mini turboing on the straightaways can actually be faster than driving in a straight line. And Pitt has hit another vehicle.
You know what they always say, the shortest way to get from one point to another is a straight line, but in Mario Kart 64, that isn't necessarily true.
for sure. But there's not going to be too much to commentate on here, unless we do see a Nantuko vehicle
like
hit.
a runaway. How is he avoiding these cars? I need to like. That's like impressive car evasion skills.
Yes, and so Nantuko does get a clean run through. He gets a top 5 time, which is very nice to do in a one try.
White poggers. Another win by several seconds for Nantuko, and this is really good for Nantuko because this is Pitt's track pick. So that means that Nantuko has a win, and then now he can pick a track that he's likely to win again. So instead of it being 2-2, it's gonna be 3-1, and 3-1 is a much better situation to be in than 2-2.
Exactly, and now this one's a little bit interesting. I don't know if it's just a strong pick for him, but Nantuko's taking us to Koopa Troopa Beach, which is kind of a shorter, more variance track in the sense that you have the only actual built-in shortcut in the game with the ramp leading to a little tunnel you can cut through the cave, and also some crabs at the end of the lap that are actually RNG with their spawn locations. But this could also just be a really strong pick for him, so we'll have to see how these players do on the beach. So far, they get through fairly clean. It looked like Nantuko maybe had a missed MT or two, but he does make the first tunnel jump. Pitt drifting up the ramp.
That's a little bit of a risky strategy.
It is, but
yeah, this tunnel jump, it's fairly easy, but you can still fail it, and if you do, you can just choose to do the backup jump, which is harder than the normal tunnel jump. You basically just jump off the wall at the right time and then land in the tunnel. Or you can just choose to go around. And as I say that, Nantuko misses the tunnel jump and he goes around. But yes, either way, it loses several seconds.
And it was worth pointing out, Nantuko did have a half-second lead going into lap 2, but he just lost about 7 seconds with that missed tunnel. So Pitt is in the driver's seat. If he makes the lap 3 tunnel,
he wins this course. Don't want to miss the tunnel jump on this track.
And he does not miss it, so he is home free here.
That's why when I'm in a one tries, I use one of my mushrooms before the ramp always, just to like make sure I have that extra speed to like get in the tunnel, like just to be safe. Because mushrooms on Koopa Troopa Beach don't save too much time.
Yeah. Well, anyway, in any case, Pitt does tie it up, and that means he just took one of Nantuko's, so that whole thing we had about Nantuko taking one of Pitt's picks is evened out on the next course. And Pitt is taking us to a nice, more Christmas-themed course. We're going to Frap Snowland, a course that's dominated by two main issues. You have snow. As you would expect in a snowland, you have snowmen all over the course, which are quite explosive for some reason. They will blow you sky high and cost you about 2 to 3 seconds. And also, the shroom spot on this course requires going over a snow hill that, in the path, takes you quite close to the out-of-bounds marker. And so if you end up drifting a bit too far to the left, you can get just caught out of bounds, and Lakitu will spawn you before the hill, and so you've wasted the shroom and are losing precious seconds because of the respawn time. And on top of that all, if you don't cleanly get the shroom, sometimes you can get a massive slowdown immediately after the hill anyway.
Yeah, and the snowmen on this track can be especially potent, especially if you're a certain person named Flanders. I'm just going to quote myself here. I don't know how Nintendo got inspirations for this game, but I don't think if I were to drive a car into a snowman in real life, I would explode into the air. So, I think that's an accurate representation of my struggles on this course. Hopefully these players don't have similar struggles. If they do, that would be quite unfortunate.
Yes, and in any case, both players make it through the first lap fairly cleanly, but Nantuko does open up about a half-second lead on Pitt here. No players had a snowman issue, no players had a shroom issue, so it was an overall, but Nantuko with the sub-35-second lap.
Pitt did have some snow after the shroom spot on lap 1, and then he's gotten some more snow hits on this lap.
Gotcha, and it looks like he did have another slowdown after the
unclean shroom landing from Pitt.
And so this should open up an even bigger lead for Nantuko with an even better lap too. Yeah, as you can see, he just opened up over 2 seconds added to his lead on lap 2. And so
Nantuko hitting a little bit of snow, but I don't think it'll matter with this lead unless he makes a tragic mistake.
We'll just have to watch the snowman here. That's
he
the biggest.
The snowman successfully going into the shroom,
and MrPitt ends it by going out of bounds.
Ooh, MrPitt going out of bounds. It's official. Nantuko won. I hate to get like cocky like that, but it's literally impossible for Pitt to win at this point. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, the math does check out.
Nantuko, I'm getting another win. Now this is very interesting. That is 3 straight flipped track picks. So, in case you don't know what I mean by that, basically, Nantuko. Wait, no. Nantuko won on Pitt's pick. Then Pitt won on Nantuko's pick, and now Nantuko won on Pitt's pick again. So.
Yes, and I expect this to be a fairly common thing with how close they're ranked, because they're going to have about similar performances. They might have strengths and weaknesses, but they can probably take each other's tracks. And the next pick by Nantuko is taking us to Yoshi Valley, a very kind of variance-based track where you have... Actually, this track is so crazy that if you were to play it in Grand Prix, they can't even tell what place you're in until you finish the race. But in any case, the common path taken here involves going through a bunch of spinies that, while they're not RNG, their movement can be a little weird. And since they're on a cycle, if you hit one, it can screw you over. And then on the second half of the track, there is a hairpin jump that, if not made, you're going to end up falling down to the bottom of the valley and can cost you a lot of time.
Yeah, and then after that hairpin jump we just mentioned, there's this egg that we're gonna see coming up right here, and if you go under it, it can actually squish you, and you won't be able to move very much while you're squished. So
indeed. And speaking of the hairpin jump, Pitt had the hairpin jump issue that you don't like to see. And because of that, you can see Nantuko's he's opting for the safe route lap 2, not trusting the spiny cycle. This is a safer path that it's about 2 seconds slower than the main path, which you see Pitt has to take given his situation. But
Pitt actually having a pretty good spiny cycle, but
he did. But as long as if Nantuko doesn't fall off the track, then there's really not much that Pitt can do to pull this one out. But we'll have to see. Nantuko obviously going safe route again. Pitt going risky route. He does hit a spiny. He does not fall off from it. And he hits another spiny, but on a more worst case, Nantuko falls off the map, and he gets placed on the wrong side of the hairpin, and so he's going to take the long path around, and Pitt falls off a second time. So this one is going to go Nantuko's way, unfortunately for Pitt. And that also gives Nantuko a set win in our opening set here.
Yes, congrats to Nantuko on winning the first ever set.
Mm-hmm. And with
There's
that,
never been any sets before in a time trial one try match. Definitely. That was a
and
joke.
yes,
That was obviously a joke.
yes. And in any case, we're going on to set 2. And as the loser of the first set, MrPitt will be getting to pick first. And he's taking us to a course which he even told me before this match. He's been running and has PR'd multiple times on today and has been flying through it. He's taking us to Donkey Kong's Jungle Parkway.
All right.
And this course can be very interesting because it's one of the courses where if you're trying to time trial it, you can't really save a ghost for it because the most ideal paths require traveling through the grass, which causes the natives of the parkway area to throw coconuts at you. And coconuts will make you unable to save a ghost. And so the main things to pay attention to on this course, in addition to that, is a jump over a river on the map, which the farther left you take the jump, the more time you save. But if you go too far left, you'll end up missing the other side and falling into the river. And depending on where Lac 2 puts you, it can cost you a disgusting amount of time. The other point of interest will be right at the end of the map. There's a hill you can cut off to save some time by hopping up that hill, but you can sometimes get tumbled down if you try to hop too aggressively up the hill. So we'll have to see how these players take it. Pitt taking it a fairly aggressive jump. Oh, and both players try to take that aggressive jump, and neither one makes it.
Wow.
And they both
Double
get placed
mission.
before the ramp. So that was a very interesting opening to this course. Now, after that, both players seem to be taking things fairly cleanly. Although both kind of bonk the outside of the bridge there, trying to mini turbo up. Both get through the cave fairly cleanly. But Nantuko does have the slight edge, about 2/10 ahead of Pitt. Oh, and well, Pitt gets knocked off, and Nantuko hit the. They both hit the boat.
That is a wacky occurrence. I've been playing MK64 for a while now, and I have never even hit that boat before.
This has to be one of the most interesting runs of DK Jungle Parkway I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're like keeping it close, I guess.
That's the thing. You don't usually see the boat there because for the boat to ever be in your way, it usually requires you to fall off, like we've seen, and so that's what happened. And Nantuko picks up 4 seconds there, and so I'm not getting ready to call anything yet because we've seen some quite interesting occurrences so far. But it looks like both players make the third jump safely. So with that being the case, I think Nantuko should have this one in the bag. But stranger things have happened.
Yeah, there's still places where Nantuko could mess up.
It's basically the cave
where he could get stuck, or he could tumble on the last little hill hop.
But he does get up the cave, so that will do it. And so first course, another Nantuko win on a pit track. So opens up an early 1-0 lead in set 2.
We're getting a lot of flip track picks, I guess. One thing I'm just going to note real quick, I don't know if I've said this already, I'm pretty sure I haven't, but these players' ranks can be deceiving, because like on paper it's like, oh, they're 40 ranks apart, there's like no way these guys should be close. But in the 200s range, in Mario Kart 64, like the 200 rank range, there's not really much difference in skill. Like Pitt is completely and totally competing with Nantuko here, and so yeah, I don't have anything else to say. So,
all right, well, the next pick out of Nantuko is going to be Mario Raceway, and it's kind of funny because there's been a little chat going back and forth in the Discord group here. They're both agreeing to do the mushroom cut, which, what is the mushroom cut, you may ask? Early on in the track,
find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
There is a giant mushroom that you can either take a safe route and go around, or you can take a more risky route and go in between it and a wall. And you can either get caught on the wall, caught on the mushroom, or spun out by piranha plants that surround the mushroom. But both players have said they're going to give us a show, and they're going to go for this mushroom cut 3 out of 3 times. The shroom spot can also be pretty interesting because you have to hop around one wall and then quickly flip to the other direction and shroom around another. And so there's a couple weird things that can happen there. But I want to see both these players get 3 out of 3 shroom cuts. That'll put up some pretty amazing times, potentially a PR for either of them.
Yeah, it would be quite poggers. That's what the kids are saying, right?
Indeed. Let's see. Opening's clean. Let's see this first shroom cut. Pitt gets through clean, and Nantuko gets hung up on the brick wall, as I referenced earlier. And so Pitt with the very big early lead. He may be onto his lap 2 before Nantuko even gets to the shroom spot. He is the 25.74 lap 1. Which is nothing to sneeze at in a regular time trial, let alone a 1 try. And Pitt hits a piranha on the second shroom cut attempt.
Yeah, that forces him to go around. That could be a time loss.
Yes, but Nantuko gets caught on the brick wall. His time loss is going to be more than Pitt's was with that bounce. And so even with the 28-second lap there, Pitt is sitting pretty. Unless he gets a massive stick on the wall.
Nantuko not even opting to go up the hill on the last turn, which is normally faster. Unless you mess it up badly, which usually doesn't happen, especially at the level at these guys.
Right. And both players did get through the shroom cut fairly cleanly on lap 3, but it is going to be a win for Mr. Pitt. So apparently, the mantra that we're going to be using for this match is only win the courses that you don't pick. Because it seems to be a trend so far. Nice. We are being taken by Mr. Pitt. He's taking us to the land of his infamous demise, Calamari Desert. And thankfully, this is a regular attempt, not a shortcut attempt, so we're not going to be seeing any fence clips here. But that just leaves...
Or any pauses, Kappa.
Yeah, considering a pause would render your time not mattering. The only thing we're going to be worried about here is the trains, which do run on a cycle. Usually, the only train that ends up being an issue is the second train on lap 3.
I'm sorry to interrupt you guys, but look at how close their PRs are. They're like less than, or like 0.2 apart on the 3 lap, and literally 0.01 apart on the flap.
Indeed, and that just goes to show what planners were saying earlier about how close the ranks in the 200s are. But, so yeah, the trains are the main issue. If either of the players have an exceptionally slow lap 1, you could see an issue with the first train on lap 2. And if any of these players are pulling almost like a godlike pace, maybe you start worrying about first train lap 3. But most likely it's going to be first train lap 2 or second train lap 3. And so another interesting thing to point out would be shroom strat here. Mr. Pitt has opted to use 2 shrooms on first lap. Nantuko feels confident enough to only use 1.
And despite Pitt using 2 mushrooms and Nantuko only using 1, Nantuko still has a faster lap. Mr. Pitt just got caught on the wall there, canceling his mushroom.
And the caught on the wall is going to cost him...
He does not keep the train. And as a result, he is not going to be in a good situation.
And yeah, now he's going to be caught on this train.
Oh. Niche strat, but I guess it works.
Yeah, I'll have to say that both of these players, I haven't ever seen a 1-1-1 strat where you use the shrooms over the hills like that. That's interesting. And Pitt's gonna go for the hill hops. Pitt's gonna go for it. He's got it all going for him. And in any case, Nantuko should run away with this one unless a psycho train comes off the track and something like that happens. And Nantuko just told me that he's been grinding that track out because he wants to use it in a rematch against me. So, even though he already beat me, but that's besides the point. In any case,
so yeah, we have another flipped track. Nantuko won on Pitt's pick. So it looks like the strategy now is to not pick tracks, so then the other person can't get a win. It's foolproof, honestly. I don't know why they're not using it.
Yes, and we're gonna be going back to the Frapp Snowland, but this time on a Nantuko pick instead of a Pitt pick. He's giving Pitt, as he says it, another shot at a legend time, because that's why Mr. Pitt picked it last time. You know, in addition to trying to win a one-try match. But in any case, we'll have to see how this turns out.
Yeah.
You already know about the snowman. You know about the out of bounds.
Yeah, it is pretty smart as a pick from Nantuko. He knows that Pitt has a weak point on this track, and so he's going to try to profit off of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, and sorry, sometimes I can't see the stream chat. Somebody did ask how many points. It is, each set is a best of 7 races, so first to 4 wins. And yes, the general ones are non-shortcut, but there's a shortcut joker and a fast lap joker that each player has one of throughout the race, where they can designate one course to be played shortcut and one course to be played just counting the first lap only as a fast lap attempt. And speaking of hitting snowman, Nantuko told Pitt not to hit a snowman, and he ends up hitting one himself, and then Pitt hits one immediately after. So, snowman death toll is up to 2.
But Nantuko, not having but Pitt had a good shroom landing, and Nantuko's was just not pretty. So I think Pitt should still get a sizable lead on this lap.
Yes, you're correct. Pitt is ahead nearly a second. Not quite, but he does have a fairly sizable lead. We'll have to see if the snowmen keep it that way. And they get through that field of snowmen pretty cleanly. They get pretty good shrooms, but Nantuko hops into the snowman and then triple taps into another snowman.
Oh my gosh, 2-for-1 special. I mean,
yeah, double trouble there, and depending on what Pitt does with the snowman here, he may be able to just run away with this and have another win on a course not picked by himself, which is funny because he picked it last time. So he does get a slowdown, but that's not going to be enough for Nantuko to catch up. Nantuko has a very interesting path through the snow, but this is going to be a win for Mr. Pitt.
Yeah, unless he falls off the bridge 3 times, which I don't think anybody's ever fallen off the bridge before. So actually, that's a lie. I've fallen off the bridge once. And alright, Pitt wins on the other person's track pick. I know that's shocking for you guys to win on somebody else's track pick, but it does happen.
Yes, it's 2-2 with 2 victories on their opponent's track pick so far.
I'll count them down. Oh wait, never mind, you got it.
Yeah, and so Pitt, with his next pick to lose, Kappa, is Wario Stadium. It's the second longest track in the game. It's fairly technical, and there are a lot of weird hills and bounces and terrains, and an interesting mushroom spot where you have to shroom over 2 hills, and if you accidentally cut too far right, you can end up tumbling on the wall. And it's also worth noting that the walls on this course can have very different interactions. Some of them you'll just bounce off, some of them will tumble, some of them will slow you down drastically but not stop you all the way. So there's a lot of weird things that can happen around this course, and a lot of it will come down to how clean players are mini turboing, how good of a shroom they get over those hills, and how tight of lines you're taking. And in my opinion, Mario Kart 64 is mostly a game of lines, and the lines can even be more determining than the mini turboing. So we'll have to see how that turns out. So far, both players looking fairly clean. Let's see how they get over the shroom spot. Nantuko uses it. Interestingly, Pitt does not use the shroom there.
Yeah. He could be playing it safe just in case he like hits a wall and like tumbles or something. But it is interesting of him to opt to not use the shroom there. Maybe he's saving the shroom for another spot where he feels more comfortable, or maybe he's going for a flap attempt for no reason.
He could be trying to PR on a fast lap attempt, and in which case I'd expect to see him use a 0-3-0, and we'd see a shroom over the opening hill lap 2, the normal shroom spot lap 2, and then there's another uphill portion that the third shroom typically gets used on. So we'll have to see if that's what he's going for.
Yeah, flat PR strats are usually like the best. That was a joke. They're not the best. They're really not that worth it, considering there's literally faster shroom spots you could use. The only track where it like is worth it is like Luigi Raceway or like Calamari Desert. Those are tracks where you already use 3 shrooms in a lap sometimes, so...
Yes, and so it looks like he uses the normal shroom spot on lap 2, so maybe he's gonna 2 shroom a lap somewhere.
Yeah, maybe he just forgot to use his mushroom on lap 1. That happens. Especially on a track like this that doesn't have like any off-road shortcuts or anything.
Or it could have been, like you said, this is something we could even bring up in post-game. So he is going a fast lap. He does 0-3-0 it, so he's presumably going fast lap.
Yeah, he didn't exactly do the flap shrooms, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So,
one of them was used in a different spot, but you know, he lives by a mantra of any shroom is a good shroom. And that was a 1:16.25. I have not been catching the splits, but
it looked like it didn't flap PR for him. Unless he has a shortcut time saved.
No, it did not. And Nantuko, I just checked the times at the hill, and Nantuko's almost 3 seconds ahead and still has a shroom left. So,
wait, what the heck? Okay.
MrPitt.
In such a lead?
Oh, but that's gonna hurt right there. That is a problem. He accidentally got a very right-facing toggle on the shroom, and I think that might that just erased his lead.
Ended Nantuko's career. Guys, we might finally see it. We might see someone win on their own track pick. I know this is like something that's never happened before, but
yeah, we'll see. But
trust me, it really does happen.
But I think MrPitt should have this. Yeah, he's definitely going to have this. He's ahead by almost 6 seconds. Yeah, and that does feel bad for Nantuko, especially considering he did have quite an insane run going on laps 1 and 2, and then lap 3 cucked him on the shroom. But in any case, first one on their own track pick this set, and Pitt takes a 3-2 lead. Yeah, that may have been a PR.
Comparing the splits, it like definitely would have been.
And so Nantuko's taking us to Bowser's Castle, which this is another one of those fun, more variant courses because you have to deal with a lot of thwomps around this course. And while the thwomps are on a cycle, there can be the issue of hitting one, which messes up the cycle you're on. There's also the fact that in the second room of thwomps, you have a pair of thwomps that will actually kind of follow you through the room. That normally you could create a ghost that actually distracts these thwomps and you wouldn't have to deal with them. But One Tri-League rules do not allow the usage of ghosts, and so that won't be happening here. So they have to find a way. Usually you see players maneuver around the outside to the left side. Some will actually maneuver around the inside to the right of these thwomps, but we'll have to see how they make it through the thwomps. First room is not usually an issue. This is usually where we'd see our first issue. Both players get through fairly cleanly. A small wall bonk from Nantuko, but
So yeah, as Carson mentioned, this could really go either way. There's so many places where you could mess up. There's the thwomp, there's the spiral, there's the lava. You name it, there's probably a mistake that you can make there. So
yes.
Yeah, we could really see either player win.
And Nantuko opens up with about a 4/10 lead, but no sooner do I say that, and you say the thing about anyone messing up, and he gets spun out by a thwomp.
That is quite unfortunate for him. Likely cost him some precious seconds.
And go on.
Unless, of course, we see a thwomp hit from Pitt. Not saying that's going to happen, but and Nantuko's still staying relatively close to Pitt on that lap. Quite surprising considering the thwomp hit.
Pitt did get through.
All right, they're both past the point where thwomps are a problem. Pitt having a pretty wide turn though.
Pitt got through all the thwomps and he nearly lost it into the lava there. He hopped and really just saved his life there. But I think he should have this one wrapped up. And no.
Nantuko winning it by less than 0.4.
I must have missed a slowdown on Pitt's end because Nantuko just had insane laps 1 and 3. He gained like 0.7 back, and he made up the differential of the thwomp hit.
Yeah, and Pitt also had like a really wide turn on right before the staircase. That cost him a lot of time, likely.
And now that brings us to a 3-3 set score, and I would take a guess that Pitt might take us to like a shortcut joker here.
As you say that, Wario Stadium shortcut.
Yes, that does be where we're going, and so this shortcut entails like basically on the first stretch of the course, kind of just hopping back and forth over a couple walls that allow you to get the first hop will get you about halfway through the course, and then you can hop again over the wall right around the finish line and just get right back there. And so you can finish this entire course in a really stupid short amount of time.
Yeah, and this is actually a very smart pick from Pitt, because Pitt isn't a very experienced shortcut player, especially on Wario Stadium. But Nantuko, I don't think he's like actually played shortcut more than 5 times in his life. So, yeah. and that makes sense because Pitt wants to get wants to just run away with this set. Because it's better to be tied at 1-1 than to be down 0-2.
Yeah, and
Also you also need to take
actually,
Mr. Pitt's shortcut Joker away.
Yes.
On the layout. Both players hitting the first shortcut but missing the second. Having some trouble with the second shortcut. It's definitely much harder than the first one.
Yeah, the second jump definitely is more challenging, and you also notice Nantuko did switch to Bowser. Bowser does have the ability to sometimes maybe help out with these jumps a little better, and Pitt does finally get over for the lap 2.
Yeah, he also has better turning than the other characters. Nantuko and Pitt both falling off, but Nantuko does it on the first lap and Pitt on the second, so clear advantage for Pitt here.
Yep, it's just a matter of who can get the actual hits up this wall first.
Mr. Pitt looks like he's getting 0 framed a lot here. But Nantuko does need to make this jump. He made the jump over the wall, but he went to the left of the finish line, which means he didn't technically cross it. So that means he still has to go back around and try it again.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Nantuko kind of got really screwed there.
And Nantuko hitting the second shortcut for the second lap puts him in a clear advantage. But this is a shortcut track. And Pitt is struggling on the first shortcut of lap 3, not something you see often from a shortcut player like Pitt. Finally making it over. I don't know why that took so long.
And yeah, Nantuko has decided to drive normally at this point. And there you go.
Man. Nantuko wasn't even doing all cuts, SMH.
Yes, and Pitt will get the set win here to tie up the set score. So that was huge, and I think he definitely needed to use his Joker there.
Yeah, just to secure that he would win the set. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're at that 3-3, that's when it feels really bad to lose on 3-3. So, and especially when you're already down a set, having to fight back from 2-0 is not something you really want to do. And so now we're going back to a course that we've already seen as the tracks have reset here at the start of set 3. And Nantuko's taking us to Calamari Desert now, which, if you recall, Mr. Pitt is the one that picked that last time. We have a wait. There may have been a false start.
Yeah, that's a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, but the one thing I'll be interested to see here is I do want to see these shroom strats again, because both players were using strats I've never... Well, Pitt's strat of 2 on lap 1 wasn't so weird. It was just more so where Pitt used his third shroom and then where Nantuko used his shrooms on 2 and 3. It's not a strat I've typically seen.
Yeah. And Pitt's strat should have helped him with it, have an easier time. The train at the beginning of lap 2. But that did not appear to be the case.
And that was what the wait. That's what the wait was for. Nantuko had not switched back from Bowser, so we're gonna have massive delay here.
but listen, Nantuko said he was ready and started the course. That is, and then paused. That is technically a do not finish. I hate to be that type of person, but like.
Yeah,
rules, that's technically a do not finish for Nantuko.
Yeah, but that being said, I don't know that either. I don't know if that's fair to really say that. I know it is by the rules, but I think
mean,
we.
like, I don't really think Nantuko deserves a do not finish there, but technically, by law, it is a do not finish.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait a little while. And I just got a little. That's interesting. I got a cutout on the commentary streams.
I gotta cut out too. Oh my god, the broadcast is being interfered. I'm sorry, but Nantuko doxed us because he didn't see him lose.
Yeah, it appears that the stream just completely went out on SpeedGaming too.
Huh.
Yeah, so I guess yeah, it was a I don't know what to roll on that because Nantuko did win by about 3 seconds. He did technically quit out. Yeah, Pitt gets to make the call.
Yeah, technically by the rules, it's a do not finish, but we're just gonna let him agree on this one because it's honestly a fair mistake.
Yeah, Dossie, I think we're all getting probed. You're right. Am I allowed to say that on Speed Gaming even if the stream's cut? Because they can still hear us. We just don't have stream.
I didn't even hear what you said, so.
So So they can still so we're still heard, but the video's gone.
Like,
I don't really know what to do from this point.
it could be like a power outage or something on like the host
Yeah,
end.
well, yeah. There's no because they don't have game sound. They have our commentary sound. That's the only sound they have. They don't have any Speed Gaming audio aside from us talking.
Yeah, it could be that, or like.
Let's see. Here, let's see if anyone can figure out. Yeah, if
You're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
yeah, if we don't get any response here, yeah, I did add them. Like worst case scenario, I can always technically hop us over to my stream, but maybe it can just be described to us. Yeah, we need to just say it's Manchi Boardwalk. Yes, Abney, you're right.
I mean, he does have a point.
It's
Uh,
Rainbow
um,
Road shortcut.
yeah, they're actually playing Rainbow Road, and they're falling off like a lot of times. Oh my gosh, these guys just cannot get the shortcut today. They have been failing it time after time. It's just not working out for them. Oh wait, it's back. Hold up.
There, I see words. I
Hey,
see.
words are better than not words. I almost said something that would have been really bad. All right.
There we go. All right, we got Pit Stream is back. Antuko Stream is back. I think we're good.
And I'm just gonna take a moment to appreciate this top five. We got a 147.57, a 147.58, and a 147.59.
Oh wait, I can't count. That's right. This is supposed to be that way. I clicked on the wrong number. Ignore that. There we go. And so we are going to Rainbow Road next. Which is the pick from MrPitt. Which is funny that we were talking about Rainbow Road there. And so Rainbow Road, what more can you say about it that hasn't already been said?
So Rainbow Road, it's a very lengthy track. For the level these guys are at, it takes a little over 5 minutes to complete. But if you're a newer or an experienced player, it can take a little more than that, about 5.5 minutes, maybe even up to 6 minutes to complete. Unlike other Rainbow Roads from other Mario Kart games, like the Rainbow Road in the original Super Mario Kart, it had no railings whatsoever. But this Rainbow Road has railings around the entire thing. So I'm pretty sure there's not a single other Rainbow Road that's like that. And also, there's these chain chomps that run around the track. And if you hit one of them, you can get slowed down a lot. What you just saw at the beginning there is a little strategy. Basically, if you press B briefly while going down the hill, you actually won't like get air off the hill. Instead, you'll just slide straight down it. And since going down is fast, like down a steep slope is fast, it's just much faster to do that. As you might have saw there, Pitt's speedometer went over 80 when he did that. So
yes, and
we have a stream freeze.
Yeah, okay, he's back. Actually, that wasn't a freeze. That was an intentional delay to sync him back up. My bad.
Let's go. Hog sync, dude. Hog sync.
My brain wasn't working there, but anyway, so far we haven't seen anything major. The big thing with the chain chomps that we're already mentioned is they are on a cycle, so it's another one of those things. If you hit one, it's gonna make the rest of the race not very fun because the chomps are not where you expect them to be. They're a little ahead of where you think you'd be seeing them on the course. A little bit of a wall bonk from Nantuko there, but overall both players seem to be kind of right around the same spot.
Yeah. Well, we'd really have to like check the lap times to see how close they are, but to me it looked like they're pretty close.
Yeah, because it's really difficult with this course doesn't really have any landmarks to really judge where they are. I think Nantuko's a little bit ahead, but
yeah, Nantuko ahead by about 0.8.
Yes,
if our math is correct. Yeah, as you just see there, Pitt's speedometer briefly flashed like almost 100, so you can see how that little trick at the beginning can be useful.
Yes, that's what we refer to as the trans strat. And yeah, it's like you slow down at the beginning of the hill, and then you triple tap your A button to get back up to speed. And if done correctly, you'll just kind of glue to the road. Like, you can actually get your speedometer almost over 100 if you really tran properly. But I didn't pay attention to which player got the better tran of the two this lap, but yeah, so it does have sky marks, but it's kind of, those are kind of more based on which way your cart is angled. It's not like necessarily like if there's a defining hill or landing or ramp or something like that, that's usually easier to line up with to check the timer. Like,
you're just becoming an astronomer, like, mid-match. Duh. And Nantuko, an unfortunate chomp hit, that'll cost him several seconds. The pit has a streamer advantage too, so he'll be even more of a I can't talk. He'll be in even more of a deficit from that.
Yep. And Pitt does get a fairly good tran there. Neither player had any kind of hop on the tran. So, but yes, in any case, Pitt definitely has the advantage. We'll have to watch out for the chomps because they will have to drive past all three of them again on this lap.
Nantuko driving, both players actually driving around the spiral with the Hardee's logo. Pitt still having a slight lead, but he does have a streamer advantage, so that is important.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so far they're looking clean. They're getting around chomps. There will be another yet to come still.
Yes, this chomp could be potent for Pitt, but luckily he avoids it.
Both players are able to avoid it.
I do believe there is one more chomp, so...
Nope, they've made it past all the chomps. They're just gonna make it up this final long left turn, and as long as Pitt doesn't get massively stuck in the wall, he should have this one.
Sloppy ending here. Looks like he should still take it.
And he does by
about a second.
And very consistent lap times. Yeah, and yeah, based on lap times, I think Nantuko would have had this if you can see how much the chomp did cost. That cost like over 3 seconds on that lap. And so that'll be one thing MrPitt will have to keep in mind, though, because he did pick this course, and although he won it this time, does he feel confident that either he'll drive better, or that does he think Nantuko will have that kind of consistent hitting of the chomps next time around? But in any case, we're going to the other RR course, which is Royal Raceway. And if you remember last time, there was a lot of grass and even a waterfall for MrPitt the last time this course came up. And so Nantuko feeling pretty confident in how he ran it the first time through, because just because Pitt may have fallen into the water, it's not like he took it as a free one. His time was still something quite phenomenal. And so it's a sub 230, which is what you'd expect for like top or like players in the 200s in this one try league. And so I guess what we'll have to look for here is how cleanly are these players making their turns? How much grass are they getting? Can Pitt resist the urge to go swimming? That's what we'll be looking at.
If I am not mistaken, Pitt does live in Texas. I'm probably wrong on that, but I can understand because it gets pretty hot down there sometimes. So I understand wanting to get into the cool lake around Royal Raceway, going for a swim, but this is a time trial one try tournament, so I don't think you want to do that.
Right. And yes, GHG, Pitt did fall into the pit last time around. 100% correct. So far, I'm seeing fairly clean driving out of both these guys. I can't really pinpoint anything, so let's just look at the lap times. And
very close, 0.3 difference. Nantuko looking like the favorite though.
Yes, and well, the other thing I'll point out is both these players, their opening laps, they were both under 50 seconds, which I don't think I don't think Pitt had a lap under 50 seconds the first time through. And I know Nantuko's opener wasn't under 50, considering he got sub 230. His later laps eventually got there, but MrPitt taking this much more cleanly, although it does look like Nantuko's building a little more of a lead because I think there's more than a 0.3 gap there. And I don't think there's any delay, so a 49.32, that's a very solid lap for Nantuko, and that's another 0.6 added on, so our differential stretched to nearly a second.
Yeah, Nantuko's gonna need to make a very severe mistake for Pitt to catch up.
Yeah, and there's not really many places left that he could do that. It's like it would probably just be around the final turn. And I will say both players have, like, I remember the first time around this course, both players were hitting a decent amount of grass. This time I've seen almost no grass hits, but it does look like Nantuko. Hey, there's a reason he's been picking this course. This is something he feels very comfortable with, and he gets around that last turn cleanly, and that is going to be 2:28.25. MrPitt with a 2:29.79, which
yeah, Nantuko winning by about a second and a half.
Which that, like, MrPitt like put up that's quite a solid time to put up, and like you cannot be upset at getting sub 230 in a one try, but I wonder if that flusters you a little bit, getting a second and a half taken off of that. Like, but yeah, in any case, both players had a much better run that time.
Yeah, and then next, Pitt is using his Moo farm, but wait, there's more. He is using his flap joker, which basically, in case you didn't catch the rules recap at the beginning, basically it makes the race one lap instead of 3. So if you just want to so if there's like a course you know that you're probably going to win, and you want to get it out of the way really quick, then that's why you'd probably use a flap joker there.
Yes, and actually, well, like, I would be one. You can also use a flap joker for the reasoning of, like, if it's a longer course and you're playing against maybe a better driver, but you think you can maybe beat them in one lap, you can also pull it for that reason as well. And the other good thing is if you use a fast flap joker on a course, the other player cannot pick the regular version of the course for the rest of that set. So let's see how they get through the moles.
Yeah, that's going to be the big decider here. Or even is a big decider.
Yes, and Pitt claims to be able to predict the moles, so we'll see if he's able to do that.
We've already gotten this results even before the race started for you guys, but we're going to hold them off. We're just going to not spoil it.
Right.
Because Nantuko playing it risky with the moles. Pitt is 2.
Oh, but Pitt hits one.
Pitt hitting a mole at the very last.
Get the RNG.
Nantuko's gonna take this one.
Yes, and that That was a 2694 out of Pitt there. It's the flashing screen is not really cooperating, but that is almost a 2-second win because of the mole hit. And so now we're back to stealing picks, and Nantuko has a commanding 3-1 lead in this set. He's in a very comfortable position here.
Unless he pulls Golden State, you know. Not saying
Yes.
they would do that, but...
And Nantuko's trying to play the role of good guy. He's giving Pitt yet another chance to get the legend on Frap Snowland, so he's taking us back there. And you have to wonder at this point, is that good guy thing actually just being a little darker in disguise? Is he really giving him the chance of the legend, or does he know how many snowmen Pitt has hit and he's trying to convince him to run into more?
But remember, the last time we played Frap Snowland, Nantuko actually had a lot of snowman trouble, so Pitt ended up taking that home. So GHG is good.
That's a pretty good one. He's calling MrPitt the flap choker. Wow, we got some.
We got some pranksters on the chat. Some absolute laughable people.
Let's see. I think Pitt got the cleaner opening there.
Nantuko tried to go for like the strat at the beginning where you use the to start to cut across the snow a little bit, but he didn't really execute it too well.
Both players, they get over the troop.
But Nantuko playing in the snow. He is a Michigan resident, so he is probably used to that. But
yes, and wow, but even with all the playing in the snow, MrPitt, if I did that math correctly, he's only up by 0.03. If I read those times,
that is correct. 0.03 difference between the two. This one's really looking like it's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, and Nantuko does even gain some time. I think MrPitt got the better stream there, but they both had pretty good ones.
I mean, Pitt's down 3-1, but that's better than being down 4-1. So Pitt's still gonna try, try to win this.
Had a little wall tap there, but he gains 0.15. So now he's up 0.12 at the start of lap 3. So
no, Pitt actually won by 0.03 on lap 1.
Oh,
so he's up.
I had it flipped. So yeah, he's up 0.18.
Yeah, but 0.18 is like a difference between life and death in this game.
Both players get the clean shroom. Nantuko went through the
Nantuko playing in the snow a little bit. That could cost him.
This is going to be really tight. There's some wall bonks happening. Let's see. Oh my god. And Nantuko
you could not script that more. You could not script that. Oh my gosh.
0.02 second victory. Wow.
Alright, so we're probably gonna get a bunch of accusations after this about this being scripted, which honestly I understand. No, look, they both had a 35.02 lap and they both had a 34.99 lap.
Yeah, it was a frame difference there.
Less than a frame, actually.
Right. So that gives Nantuko the 2-1 set lead. And we can reset the scoreboard here. And so going into set 4, it is also fair to remember that both jokers have been used up by Pitt. Nantuko still has both of his available. I don't know how likely he is to use a shortcut joker, but I know his fast lap joker he definitely would use at some point. And he's in a convincing spot. And
yeah, Nantuko's not like a shortcut player like whatsoever. As I mentioned earlier, he's probably played like shortcut like 5 minutes in his entire life. So don't think we're gonna see a shortcut. Joker from him, but a flap Joker definitely a likely possibility.
And so that may or may not have just happened. We may have MrPitt opening up set 4 with the track we just finished. Set 3 on. He's taking us back to Frap Snowland.
Yeah, that is technically a legal pick.
Yes,
because Pitt hasn't picked Frap Snowland since his pool reset, so.
Yes, and so both players ran this very cleanly, so they have it like right in their muscle memory, tendon memory, whatever you want to call it. And so even though Pitt lost that, it was, again, by a frame, technically less than a frame even, and they both ran very cleanly, and I expect to see, or I hope to see, same thing this time around. Pitt did get a little bit of snow, but overall, and a missed MT by Pitt, though. That's going to hurt a little bit. Oh, but Nantuko ends up out of bounds, and Pitt hits a snowman, but the out of bounds trumps the snowman hit, so Pitt still takes the advantage.
Yeah, so Pitt, when you fail the shortcut, you get respawned, at about the spot of the shortcut. But if you hit a snowman after the shortcut, you're still after the shortcut. So you gain time from hitting a snowman over falling out of bounds. And that's evident because Pitt gained about 3 seconds on just lap 1. So
yeah, and to answer your question, JHD, no, they can't pick the same map over and over again. The way it works is after every 2 sets, the tracks do reset. But within that 2-set span, each player is allowed to pick the same track once, given that it's not in, they couldn't both pick the same track set 4, but Nantuko was able to pick this set 3 and then Pitt picked it set 4, so it was different players, but
yeah, just a little update. On the shortcut lap 2, Pitt got an interesting bounce that actually helped him. He cleared the snow on the second half because of it, but Nantuko hit a snowman after the shortcut, so Pitt.
Oh, and Nantuko ends up out of bounds again, and so yeah, this is going to be a Pitt victory. So Pitt coming out of set 4 on fire, taking back the track he just lost by 200th, even with the snowman hit.
Yeah, he turned that 200th of a second loss right back around into a 12-second win. And with that, Pitt takes a 1-0 lead for this set.
Yep, and
I would love to see Pitt win this set to make it 2-2. Then we have a high stakes set 5. And that also would mean that 100% of matches I've commentated with Carson have gone to set 5.
Yes. And what's up, Breaking Rocks? See you there. And so our next course is going to be...
if you ever hear that me and Carson are commentating your match, it's going to set 5.
Yes. But in any case, we're going to Yoshi Valley again. And if you recall, we had a lot of people falling into the valley. I think I even fell into the valley once or twice the last time this was raced. But we'd like to see, hopefully, cleaner run-throughs this time around. I know both players would like to have a cleaner run-through this time around. So let's see if we can see that happen. Nantuko does have the advantage given that he's playing Yoshi. Both players get through.
It doesn't actually give you an advantage. Toad and Yoshi are the same speed, and they don't have track-specific bonuses. That'd be stupid if they did.
Yeah, I was just going for the memes, but unfortunately, up until the hairpin, both players were basically identical, but Pitt did fall off the track. And so a very solid lap for Nantuko, almost sub 30 seconds. He's gonna go for the path through the spiny slot. Oh, and he does hit one, and then the momentum's gonna carry him off the map. So Pitt could be right back in this, depending on what he does here.
Yeah. Very unfortunate scenario for Nantuko. Also, like, on this track, the way you fall off is kind of RNG. Because, you're not counted out of bounds until you hit the bottom of the valley, I guess. So, if you just fall straight off, you'll still save time, compared to someone falling off and then, like, hitting a canyon wall, like, 5 times. So,
Right.
falling off does kind of have that RNG element. Sounds really stupid to say that, but...
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, like, it's not like RNG, but, like, you get the idea. Nantuko opting to the safe path, Pitt taking the risky path, even though he has a... Wait, actually, never mind. Pitt is behind.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight finish, but I think Nantuko is going to take it, although Pitt is putting up an argument.
Pitt taking the grass finish, but Nantuko is too. All right. Yeah, Nantuko's winning this one by about 2.5 seconds.
Indeed, so that brings us to a tie here in set 4. And the pick shifts back to Pitt, and he is going to take us to Wario Stadium. Which, again...
I'm sorry, I kind of jumped the gun and did the countdown for you, because...
You're fine. Whatever makes it quicker. But, yeah, so we have been here before. We know it's a nice, long, technical track. And remember, Pitt used his 030 shroom strat, and Nantuko did look like he was heading for the win up until the lap 3 shroom, where an unfortunate toggle sent him careening into the wall, and it took him forever to get unstuck from it, which was enough to lead the way for a Pitt victory. So we'll have to see. Is Pitt still going to go the 030 strategy? Knowing him, he probably will. And if Nantuko gets 3 clean shrooms and doesn't make any major mistakes, I think his driving ability might outdo Pitt here. Just based on their lap times, because like Mr. Pitt's 3 shroom lap was over 116. And so that could have caused... We'll have to see here how that works out. And this time Pitt does opt to use his mushroom on lap 1, so it looks like he's probably just sticking with the more standard 1-1-1 strat. Gravity is just RNG, Isaac Newton. I think you're right.
Yeah, guys, I know I've been kind of hiding this for my entire career, but I am actually the reincarnated version of Isaac Newton, and I can confirm that I did in fact say that, that gravity is just RNG. And I also am about to say that Pitt got stuck on the wall for a little bit there. Those little stars you saw meant he got stuck. So it's looking pretty even.
Yeah, and so he did actually... It is, yeah, it's even now, because at the end of lap 1, Pitt actually had about a 0.7 second lead. Both players do get a fairly good second shroom.
Pitt going slightly wider than Nantuko, it seems. After the shroom, but...
Yep, but right now things are looking... They're both... It's almost like they're mini turboing at the same time, although Pitt's got dragged out there a little bit. But in any case, they... Pitt with a little bit of a wall bounce. If those are perfectly synced up, then that was an identical landing. This is insane.
Yeah, this is going to be down to the wire unless one of them makes a major mistake.
And so Nantuko gained almost 0.4 back, so it's about a 3/10 race in that case. Oh, and Nantuko does tumble on the third shroom. That, with how cleanly they've been running the rest of this, that could cause
extremely costly for him. He's gonna need a major mistake from Pitt now.
And based on how he was hopping over those hills there, I don't think he got the MT before him, which that's another slowdown that'll hurt you. And yeah, unless Pitt has a really unfortunate catch on the wall here, I think he's home free. And he does get around the wall, so that should be a course win to Pitt.
Unless he tumbles on this last wall, which I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that, so probably won't happen. Oh, that consistency.
Yeah, he had identical last 1 and 2.
Yeah. Nantuko still keeping it surprisingly close, coming within 2 seconds, but 2 seconds is 2 seconds too many. So.
Yep, and so we'll have to see where Nantuko decides to take us for the 4th track in this set. And Nantuko's going to take us back to Mario Raceway. And it looks like we will have another gentleman's agreement on attempting all of the shroom cuts between these players. And so, if you recall the last time, neither player ran necessarily 100% cleanly through the shroom cuts. I believe Nantuko got stuck on the wall on the first 2. Pitt had a spin out on lap 2 and a kind of rough cut on lap 3. But he did end up taking this course. Well, to see, it could be if either player is able to get 3 out of 3 clean shroom cuts, then I think they win this one. Because I have a feeling that not both of them will get 3 clean, but who knows? Both players have the skill to get 3 clean, so we could see some very impressive times here. Very early on there, Pitt did get caught up on the wall, so he's going to start off behind. They both do get through this room without hitting a piranha, but they're both kind of bouncing back and forth off the wall and mushroom. And it does look like because of that wall hit from Pitt early, Nantuko is out to the early lead. Yeah, 25.49 lap 1 from Nantuko, 26.61 from Pitt. So that puts it at about a 1.1 second lead. Again, both players getting through, but Pitt's was, again, a little rougher. And Pitt loses another 1.2 seconds to Nantuko there, so we'll have to see. Yeah, and each time Pitt luckily he didn't get caught like stuck on the wall or mushroom or piranha or anything, but all 3 of his cuts have been kind of bouncy and a little rough through, and so Nantuko's was just the faster path through, and he gets a sub 117. Sub 117. So that ties our set back up here. And as the pick shifts back to MrPitt, we're going to a course we haven't seen yet today, which he's taking us to Choco Mountain, which the features you can pay attention to on this course, I think every wall sometimes feels a bit RNG because every wall on this course can either be a tumble, a stick, bounce you 50 feet to the left, any variety of things can happen to you on any of these walls. There's a left turn around a rail where rocks actually fall off, and if you're on the fairly typical pace, they are on a cycle, and if you're on the typical pace, you're really not going to have an issue with any of them. But like, I know particularly there's one of them on lap 1 that if you're just slightly off your lap 1 pace, it can become an issue. So to see how they handle the rocks. And then at the very end of the course, there are a couple hills, and players often talk about good or bad hills. And without really knowing how to describe, the good hills are obviously quicker for you, and you'll just be able to tell by how they drive over them. The good hills just look a lot smoother than bad hills would. And both players are able to deal with the rocks pretty easily, and Nantuko uses his first shroom after them. And Nantuko doesn't get the mini turbo, so he's going to have pretty bad hills. Pitt gets like medium hills. And he does also have a shroom advantage. He's going to use both of them here. He might use fast last strat. He does like using atypical shroom strats sometimes. So we might see him use a third shroom here, or he might go 0-2-1. Oh, but unfortunately, he tried for that mini turbo over the jump there, and it caused a tumble. So, big lead in Nantuko.
Alright, I'm gonna be honest, I accidentally bumped the mute button on my mic like 2 races ago, and I just now realized my mic was muted.
That's unfortunate.
So, I'm sorry for that. It really sucks that you guys didn't get to hear my amazingly beautiful commentary, but sometimes you just don't get what you want in life.
Indeed, but in any case, this one is looking like Nantuko should be able to keep the lead here. As long as he doesn't get caught up on walls here, and he gets good hills for lap 3. Pitt did get good hills in lap 2, by the way, and then he gets medium ones there. And unfortunately for Pitt, that tumble did cost him, and that's a 2-second victory for Nantuko. And it also brings us to 3-2. Nantuko's pick, and it's not only set point, but it is also match point.
Yeah, if Nantuko wins this next race, wins the whole thing. But if Nantuko does not win this race, he does not win the whole thing yet.
Yes, and we have a fun pick from Nantuko. Since he's already picked Calamari Desert once in set 3, he could not pick it this time around, but he's picking Calamari Desert Shortcut Joker, which if either player attempts the shortcut, like it's prior to the second set of train tracks, you can go a little bit off-road and you can get a bounce over both rails on the train tracks. Unless we have Pitt YOLOing it for the fence clip, I don't know if we'll see that. I don't think he will, considering that if he loses this one, he loses the match. The real reason Nantuko's picking this is I highly doubt he's even going to be attempting the shortcut. I most likely believe he's just using this as an extra excuse to race it normally, which you're allowed to do with a shortcut pick. I'm personally not a fan of that rule, but you're allowed to do it. But
yeah, because Flap, you're not allowed to use, like, again, because like flap is like basically the same thing, but shortcut I can see it being like fundamentally much different than just doing it normal.
Oh, and Nantuko with the
not having a
early
good for
bounce off the
shroom.
wall. Yeah, the shroom was mostly good, but he bounced off the wall at the end of it there. And that's going to cost him some time. And MrPitt is going to go for a normal shortcut. See if he gets the bounce. He does not.
Alright, well, Pitt lost. That's unfortunate. I didn't even know that was a thing.
And there's water underneath the desert, everybody.
Yeah, just like every desert. But ooh, Nantuko hitting a cactus and getting stuck on the fence. Pitt had a chance. He almost gets stuck on the fence again. And Nantuko had
and Pitt is going for the legendary fence clip. He's gonna go for it. This is ballsy.
Watch, he's gonna make it, and everybody's gonna like crap their pants.
He does not get it, and he pauses, and that's gonna be a do not finish. And so that is an automatic win for Nantuko. And that will be the set and the match. Now, hold on, do I... Yes, he's an absolute legend for going for the fence clip, but that will be the match. I think at this point we can invite them in here perhaps for some post-game commentary. So we're going to get them in here. They should be on their way. Peace out, Itchy.
Hello.
What's up, Nantuko?
Dude, you know, I was curious when I picked the track if Pitt was gonna go for world record.
What's up, Pitt?
When I started failing, I'm just like, oh dear God, if he isn't the Pitt that I know and just decided to play it safe, he is crushing me right now. Because my time was so garbage. But
well, to be fair, he did not go for the world record shortcut initially. He just went for the regular one. And then he didn't get that, and he got a glitch underneath into some water that I've never seen before.
Yeah, you can get it as a backup.
Either.
Yeah, you can get it as a backup. I've known it for ages.
Well, this is definitely, you know, knowing your opponent, and I think the biggest thing I can say about Pitt is every race. I took a
whole set from you. I'm actually surprised.
Pitt, you are. I mean, Pitt, you're a damn good driver, and like
someday.
The other thing I love about you is every race you go for a PR. Like you don't settle for strats, which you don't do the safe strats. You do the best strats you can every race, which is awesome.
That's commendable gameplay for sure. First thing I'll say is congrats to Nantuko for the win.
Thank you.
Of course, and I also want to extend a congrats to Pitt. Like literally just before this match started, hitting a shortcut 3-lap PR on Frap Snowland.
Yeah.
That was something else. I was like, 14. Hold up, and I just finished the rest of it. I was like, oh my God.
But anyway, I think the first thing I'm gonna bring up is probably the most exciting moment of the match that we had, which was the last course pick of set 3, Frap Snowland, decided by less than a frame.
And by a lesson break, yeah, literally.
How did both like, since you know there's a little bit of a delay and you don't know right away what other
that was
people got on their times, like how did both of you feel? Like, I guess I'll start with Pitt. Like, you put that time up. How confident did you feel like that was like a win for you?
I mean, it's decent. My fractional lane could be better.
like-
That's why I was like, I was looking at it like okay, 49. It had like it's 24, isn't it? Or something like that. It's like I saw 4 and 5 for the lap 2s, or 4 and 2, the second number on this timer, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely behind my pace. I can definitely do a 24:32 or something like that. I can get 32 or something like that. I was like, okay, so I have to try to do better here. I know my third lap could be decent. I just need to get it right, and it just kind of just like happened.
Mm-hmm. And Nantuko, what about you on that specific race?
So I mean, it's always interesting because I try not to watch the stream. I don't like that distraction, so I don't. I didn't know, I didn't see it until it was posted in chat. When I posted in, Pitt was pretty quick on the thing. So I mean, anytime you start processing, and in half the time I can just glance at the first 2 numbers and just see, okay, he beat me or I beat him. Not many.
Yeah, we had to look at digits here.
Yeah, we had a lot of races that were separated by multiple seconds because one of us had a clean race. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait, I read it, I was like, wait, what was mine again? So it was pretty crazy. And that's also one where on that Snowland, I was super disappointed. I forget if it was lap 2 or lap 3. I had just an absolutely gorgeous shroom. And then my cave was garbage. My cave was absolute garbage. And I just looked at it you look at this time and go, oh, you probably messed up on the hills, kind of had a rough recovery, but you salvaged it. It was like, no, I had this absolutely gorgeous shroom. That's the kind of shroom you want in your PR run. You'd lock that shroom in for every shroom.
Right.
And then the cave was just absolute garbage.
And that's exactly what I noticed is I couldn't make a call as a commentator who was ahead or behind because you guys were both kind of bonking on things inside the cave section, and I was like, I can't tell who's ahead, and with also how close it was.
Yeah.
But I think now it's I know this was maybe an inconsequential part of the match, but I think just for the laughs, we have to bring up probably the most interesting DK Jungle Parkway I have ever seen.
I gotta go
Oh my god, yeah!
I have no idea how I won this. That's the track that I'm like, what the hell happened for Pitt?
Let me explain it in details. I went across the ramp, I fell in water, thought I was going fine, I just continued it, and then when I came back around, I forgot I'm gonna be so slow, that boat's gonna be in my way. I was trying to dodge it, and I missed it. I got hit, fell in water, and was like, yeah, there's no way I'm winning this. And apparently,
I did the exact same thing.
I saw it.
I
I saw it in
thought
the
I
Discord
might have been
chat.
able to get over the boat. I'm surprised the boat hit me.
I was confused because when you posted in Discord for the thing, it was you said F for boat, and I was like, hold on, are you talking about me or you? And I'm like, hold up now. Do you have a chance here?
Yeah, that was definitely, And that's what I will say. I think is, probably my favorite thing about being in D3. Every track basically is,
risk or reward.
Unless you're
is.
Dousey in playing in slow motion,
or you're me
not that I would
playing
throw
Move
any
Farm.
shade at Dousey.
Oh no, you can throw all the shade you want at him. But go on.
But the idea that it really, we all have good enough times that if one of us falls in or makes a big mistake, anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
And so that's my favorite thing about D3. It's been so much fun, just seeing everything. And I will say, like I said, Carson, after our match, in the struggles that I had with Desert, I just started grinding it, and now, I mean, you saw my first 2. I mean, I can beat the train lap 3 pretty confidently now. I'm definitely. So thank you for that motivation. It's definitely become a track that's a bit of a pocket pick now.
I've just been so rusty. I could do the 3 train, making it, but the problem was I was just so rusty. That's
Well,
why
that's
I was surprised because I was like, I got back from Rusty. I was like, Moo Farm 3-lap PR, what? And then I just started going PR, and I was like, okay, what is going on? I'm supposed to be Rusty, not good at this game.
I will say thank you as well. I picked up I started practicing earlier today, and I started doing some Moo Farm grinding, and I did get a Moo Farm flap PR. So thank you for that motivation, because I knew I was gonna have to practice the Moo Farm.
Yeah, that's gonna be something you always have to fight against me.
You know, and people need to know they've got to be ready for Yoshi Valley against me, even though I didn't have a good Yoshi Valley tonight.
You know, honestly, I really didn't have one either. I was surprised that, like, I was like, very
like,
close, but still, like...
Yeah, I won it both times,
almost
but
there.
neither of us had clean ones.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I had clean lap 2 and 3 on both of them, but, like, I don't get why my lap 1 was just so trash.
Yeah, well, you see, I think what you guys fail to realize is just because the course is called Yoshi Valley doesn't mean you need to actually visit the valley.
Is that the requirement?
Yeah, I mean, it's you gotta visit the valley floor.
I guess that's a fair point. I could have sworn there was one other thing I had that I was going to bring up that happened.
The track that wasn't supposed to count, but I allowed it, or was that something else?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yes, we did have the DQ the possible DQ because of the accidental Bowser lock-in.
Yeah, that's good guy Pitt. Definitely good guy Pitt there. I mean, you know, that one's. I would probably do the exact same thing there.
We said R&D. We said no R&D, and I was like, okay, gentleman's agreement. But you know, you already did something that was like,
oh yeah.
I said, you know what? We'll take it away just one track, and that was it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I think that again, like, it's one thing when you know, if people had said, hey, you DQ, I wouldn't have had an issue with it. Right? I would have said, hey, I get it, it's my mistake. I should have remembered that I had switched to Bowser. But it's like, literally, that's my first time switching to Bowser this entirely. I've never even considered it, and so, you know. So
it's funny how I can do Wario Stay with
like
Toad,
the
and you decided to
there where you
move to
say,
Bowser, though.
Yeah.
I was surprised you moved. Like, I know Bowser's good, but, like, I can just do it easily with Toad. Like, you can do it with any character, that's why I was...
I don't know. I mean, it's technically better, so I needed every advantage I could get.
I guess so.
Well, Pitt, that's also just you. You don't play anything besides Toad.
I don't play anything. Yeah, literally anything except Toad.
And, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it was a really great match back and forth. I did love, at the start of set 2, we couldn't win our own picks.
Yeah, dude, we like back and forth it out the entire time.
Always hilarious.
That happened for like an entire set. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were commenting on that.
The other person's pick.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will say, I do appreciate you taking the time to actually spell out 3, 2, 1. That definitely threw me off when.
Yeah, really. That was like,
just like,
that's so unnecessary. Why?
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, Charlotte just marches to the beat of a different drum. You know.
That's no. As my wife would say, marches to the beat of their own tuba.
Yes.
My family calls that being special.
But it was definitely just like, okay, I respect it, but
okay, yeah. I mean, typing it that fast too is crazy too. That he's just like,
yeah. That was the other thing is Charlotte was just like threw down those numbers like nothing.
Yeah. Well,
they call me a smart math person.
There you go.
Don't pick a race on you and nitro type. Gotcha.
Yeah, well, I guess I was speaking of Charlotte. Do you have any questions?
I need to get back on my nature type grind, honestly.
Yeah, Charlotte, you got any thoughts from the match, Charlotte?
Not really. Good job to both of the players. Congrats to Nantuko on the win. And you guys both played really well, so good job on that. Good luck in your future Mario
Yeah, I was
Kart
gonna say,
64
turning-
adventures.
Oh
Yeah,
yes, I got my
turning-
last rivals. Pixie.
Yeah, turning
Yeah.
forward, it's
I'm-
definitely getting to the end. So next week is the last week, and then we head into our Christmas break. At New Year's break, or let's call it holiday break. So,
Yes.
um,
And then
so I know-
2021 starts playoffs.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
So Pitt,
I'm looking
you're up
forward
against
to
Itch.
2020 being over more than that, but
Yes. So I'm not sure if Itchy is still here, but shout out to Itchy. I know Itchy is your next opponent. Pitt, what do you think about that?
Well, he's not technically my next opponent. Pixie's next, but not on.
Oh,
SG,
you're doing a
though.
makeup match with Pixie. Oh, I see.
Well,
Yeah.
we've delayed it so long. We're trying to get it done. So
Sure,
tomorrow will be a
gotcha.
good time, and then Itchy will probably be next week at some point. But I mean, honestly, I think as long as I'm just doing fine and I just do a little practice here and there beforehand, I should be fine.
Here you go.
If not, it's no big deal. It's not the only thing that playoffs start, like the totals here count for is the playoff standoffs start.
Yeah, right.
Right. And so
I
here,
I am
Just-
happy we did the 12-man playoff.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Well,
me
12
too.
person playoffs. We have. Yeah, but
And just to get this out there, by the way, anyone watching still on SG, if you got any questions for these guys, let me know. I can relay them to them. But looking at the just looking at the standings real quick, the win moves you, Patrick, to 5-5.
Yep.
It leapfrogs you over me, so you're up in the 6th seed now.
yeah, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
And more than
Pitt-
anything, getting up into the 6th seed means is getting away from dodging Gator and Dowsey in the second round. Not that
Yeah.
not looking past too much. I mean, again, anybody can take a match off of anybody, but I'm not going to deny, So really, where I'm trying to get to, we'll see. I don't know. Is if I can get to that 5th place spot. So Pitt, I'm a huge fan of you coming into this next your match tomorrow. Definitely rooting for Pitt tomorrow.
hmm Oh, and yes, by the way, this is the end of tonight's races. I should say the next match that will be on SpeedGaming it'll be a Division 1 match. Jaden versus Matthias. And I did not write down I write down the time, and I did not write down which day it was, so that does not really make it helpful.
Oh, that is so that's going to be on December 13th.
Okay, so yeah, it's Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday at UTC.
It's 6 a.m. Eastern. It's noon Germany time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a match I won't be getting up for.
Right, but if you want to see top tier karting, it's what I would recommend getting up for. Or if you're in Europe, you really don't have to get up too early.
And
Wait, you guys don't sleep until noon? What the heck?
Mhm.
I mean, I don't get up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday.
I don't think anybody realistically does.
I don't know. But I will say what is exciting as well is then the following Sunday we have the heavyweight match everyone's looking forward to of Dan and Matthias rematch on NTSC. That should be super exciting.
Is that the 20th then?
Yeah. So Sunday the 20th.
Yeah.
And I know after their last match, I'm sure Matthias is out for some revenge because Dan kind of took him to task. So I know Matthias has really been looking to try to find a new controller stick that's comfortable. He was having some issues.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from Dan, he drove amazingly, but I'm sure that's going to be a match to watch.
Yeah, let's hope neither of those players end up on the COVID list. That would be something you'd hate to see, but
yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting if they got a world record.
Let's hope nobody tests positive right before the game.
No,
I'm not saying that's happened before.
That'd be real bad.
In a certain game that occurred last night.
hey, no need to bring the Ravens into this. But anyway,
Yeah, who likes them anyway?
probably
just,
people from Baltimore. But anyway,
We just eliminated the entire Raven's audience.
Yes, but in any case, let's see. Did we have any? Like we said, next match for Pitt was against. He has the rematch against, or the rescheduled match against Pitchy, or against Pixie, and then his probably next match that'll end up on SG will be against Itchy. Patrick, your next match is against Tyson.
And I gotta tell you what, Tyson has been driving really well lately.
Dude, Tyson is insane. Oh my gosh. Like, someone needs
to, like, he almost whooped me. That's how bad I was. Like, I was like, wait,
honestly,
what?
when Tyson took Carson here to set 5, track 7.
Oh my god, yeah, he did that for 2 matches between Carson and me.
Well, but he did it to Carson first, and he just fell in love with the game, and so now he has been grinding. It's a real shame that he plays on emulator, only for the fact that it means that he isn't on the world leaderboard, because I would love to see. I mean, he is just flying up into leaderboards now.
Tell him to get a game system. Come on, we need him to get one.
Yeah, because here, I'll just put this in perspective. We have a sheet here, like, that just, lists everybody's names out in, like, their starting rank. So what their rank was at the beginning.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, it was what their rank was at the beginning of the One Try League. And for Tyson, it lists him because it's approximate, because he's on emulator, but it says approximately like 730 was his rank. I'd be willing to bet is he?
I think
he might be in
the area between you and me.
I think he's in top 300.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's at least like 250.
No. I guess he actually. So his average finish right now actually puts him at like 310 range, 315. But he's
so okay.
He has cut his ranking by 400 places.
Oh yeah,
like,
within the first
dude
like
is on a tear.
Yeah, and like, the amount of improvement of getting from like 730 to like 310, like that's.
Oh yeah.
Like, because I've seen people that are driving around like the 730 range versus like, because I remember what I was like when I first joined the site at that range, and it was like,
It's funny to think back then, like, I mean, it's because I only started speedrunning this back in like June, July. I mean, so it's only been 6 months, and I started, I joined the ranks in the 700s, and it's funny looking back, and you just think about, all these different things, and now you're like, man, like, it's cool to see the improvement, and I've really enjoyed that. The community, if I will say, for anybody who's looking at getting into speedrunning, there is not a better community than the Mario Kart 64 community. I mean, just so many great people and so many world-class racers who will happily chat with you.
Well, I will say any speedrun community, because I mean, really, it's just been like that. I own one. I mean, I've seen other people's with good ones. So I mean, it really depends on what you're wanting to play. I mean,
yeah,
there's
like
usually a game for everything, and like for speedrun.
Yeah, and I mean, this is an incredibly big thing to bring up, especially on a site such as SpeedGaming. But like, I have yet to really see a bad speedrun community. Heck, I've been in a Wii Sports speedrun community, and even that was great. So it's like,
I'm in a Papa Louie speedrunning with full RNG, and I'm still whooping with 13-hour times.
We're not even going to talk about Pitt with his shiny speedruns over here, but
oh my god, yeah, I have an SDQ that's under odds.
Pure coincidence.
Dude, I have 12 under odds shinies, and I'm like, there's no way I shouldn't be having this luck still.
Pure coincidence. I'm actually uploading my first Wii Sports speedrun to YouTube right now.
Coincidence? I think not. But yeah, the Mario Kart 64, like, it is different because, Mario Kart almost kind of feels like its own category aside from speedrunning, unless you're talking about, like the Grand Prix speedruns. Those are still pretty standard speedrunning.
Bowser, DK, and oh my god, no. I don't even want to talk about that.
But yeah, Mario Kart...
all 3 in a race, and it's all over.
Yeah, like, our Mario Kart 64 community, I can't tell you how many awesome like friends and whatnot I've made through this community. It's really great.
Oh yeah.
Now I know we should start wrapping up here, and so I believe MrPitt had something he wanted to send us out with. I'm a little scared as to what this is gonna be, but
We're giving Pitt
Yeah.
the floor.
Yes.
He had a little rap for us, according to him. So
Yes. My name is Mr. Pitt. I failed Katie Skip. 190,000. What is that? I don't care. Failed that. MMF. There are moles. Need a 3 lap, but none no good. That's it.
For those of you who haven't seen the legendary Carl Jops video covering the KD skip that MrPitt was talking about, I'm sure it was covered during the run, but yeah.
And Easy Speed
Yes.
and Glad Jonas. I have 3 clips all over the.
Yeah.
Oh, they did Glad Jonas you?
They finally got Glad Jonas on
Good,
Crazy Luck.
good.
Yes. I will send that in later.
But the legendary MrPitt, the first person to ever do the new KD fence clip, living legend, no world record to his name.
Yes.
He has the fastest pause figure east of the Mississippi.
Oh my god, dude.
So,
Oh my god. Wow, look, I
Anyway,
failed
so-
7
so-
shinies. No, I'm joking.
thank you everybody again. Thank you to SpeedGaming. Thank you to Flanders and the Mario Pianist for doing the commentary. Always love having you two there, and like I said, look forward to more Division 3 Mario Kart action and playoffs next year. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Best of luck to
All right,
everyone. Thanks again for
all right.
watching.
yeah,
guys.
thanks for everyone who's stuck around. Sorry that our interview took kind of long, but thank you all. Good game to everyone, and see you all at a time later.
Later.
Way to close.
Bye.